This week in Gaming and Tech, Instagram and Facebook are stealing your video quality. We finally have some sort of actual hard teaser evidence of Ghostface in Mortal Kombat 1, and we have a very rare instance of a gaming company not trying to milk every last penny out of its fans. Is it going to be a good thing or a bad thing? Let's talk about this. Welcome, nerds, to this week's edition of the Gaming and Tech News, generally speaking. Now, I'm no Linus or Spawnwave or Gamers Nexus or insert channel that is dedicated to the tech and gaming news here. That's not what you're getting here. This is just enough to keep you informed, generally speaking. We do this just about every week as part of a larger news show called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel. You can find that linked down in the description or at the end of this video. Now let's talk about some gaming and tech and maybe even some like photo, video kind of news as well. We have a really cool follow-up this week in Gaming and Tech, just the one though, and it's really not a proper game. Let's get into it. Fallout London is a thing that we've talked about a number of times actually here on the channel, and it's reached a pretty noteworthy milestone at this point. So for those that don't remember, Fallout London is a mod essentially for Fallout 4. So what the development team has put together is basically a DLC for Fallout 4 because it is a whole new map. You get all these new missions, you get a bunch new enemy types, it's crazy in depth. It is a whole nother game unto itself, and you get it for free as long as you have Steam on, or is it GOG? I can't remember. GOG, I apologize. GOG, it has gone, they have been downloaded. That's the proper terminology. The DLC has been downloaded more than 1 million times at this point. So it's freaking huge. The Fallout New Vegas adaptation for Fallout 4 never came to fruition because of issues with Bethesda. I don't know what the difference is between the development for London versus the development of New Vegas in the Fallout 4 engine, but this is pretty awesome. I wish we would have gotten the New Vegas one as well, but you gotta, take them where you can get them. So that's pretty awesome. Congratulations to the development team. I believe this is also the same development team that is now going public. They're now becoming a proper development team. They're not just doing these things on the side. They're going to start making games, but that's not the news we're talking about. Let's move on, shall we? Next, we have one trailer this week to talk about as well, and it only barely qualifies as a trailer because it's a teaser and it's like 25 seconds long. Mortal Kombat 1 Ghostface teaser. We now actually have a proper release date for it as well because the teaser has come out, and we have a pretty good look at a lot of the gear that Ghostface is going to be launching with as well, or going to be available to Ghostface throughout the course of the game. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it's November 19th is going to be the release date for Ghostface into Mortal Kombat 1. And we still don't know a whole lot about his actual gameplay because basically everything that they took for this teaser is cinematics. Even the fatality bit that you see from the previous trailer and also in this is technically a cinematic. It's a fatality cinematic, but it's still a cinematic. So we don't see really any gameplay in here. We just get a lot of gear and atmosphere and Halloween-y things. So it's fun, it's quick, go check it out. That's the only trailer we got though, so let's get into some regular ass news. This week, we're gonna kick things off in this subsection for gaming and tech is Instagram, and by extension, Facebook as well, but video quality is being downscaled on unpopular videos. This is kind of weird, though, I mean, from a business standpoint, it kind of makes sense. What's happening is you upload a video to either platform, Facebook or Instagram, doesn't matter. You upload a video to these platforms that are owned by Meta. I think that's the connecting thread. I don't know if this is also applying to Threads, but it could, because it's all the same company, right? So I don't use Threads, so I have no idea if you can even upload videos to Threads. But your video gets uploaded and say it's in 1080p, right? It's vertical, but it's still 1080. If you don't get a certain level of virality, if you don't get a certain level of popularity, if not enough people watch your video after a certain point, they're going to degrade the quality of your video. Presumably to save on bandwidth and storage costs, though I don't know the storage part, because technically that means they have multiple copies of the same video. Because should your video actually catch virality after said date, which they have not made known, so there's no like, if it does well after the first 3 days, then we're not gonna they haven't said anything. But they have said that it gets throttled. You're losing video quality. So if it does after that point in time get popular, then they will bounce you back up to your proper resolution. But if you don't upload a popular video, it's just going to be slightly soft and fuzzy because bandwidth or something. I didn't see a justifiable excuse for this. I feel like this is a little shady. YouTube doesn't do this, and it's like twice the size of both of these things put together. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we got for the Instagram thing. And then our other piece of regular ass news for gaming and tech is Valve this week. So Valve, you will remember, they actually made video games at one point, and now they just kind of rake it in with, what is it, their game store and with Steam, right? And then with their Steam Deck. So the Steam Deck, it's been a little while since we got any sort of update on that, and that is by design. There were two of the bigwigs. Where'd they go? Interview with Valve designers Lawrence Yang and Yazan Aldehayyat, I think is maybe how that's pronounced. I apologize. They said in interviews, separate interviews, they said in interviews that it's not going to be a yearly iteration on the same hardware. They're not going to do minor updates for their hardware. They're going to treat it like a console where you get generational updates. So that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for what they consider a generational improvement. No specifics on what would quantify a generational improvement, though, again, we kind of have a format for this because this is how consoles have gone forever. Generally speaking, a console's lifestyle, when I was younger, it was approximately 10 years. Now I would say it's more close to like 6 to 8 years is a generation. So very likely we're not going to see a new iteration of the Steam Deck for a few years yet. So very interesting. Kind of kudos to Valve on this one, because they're not just updating to update, they're updating with purpose at this point. They don't want people to be disappointed when they purchase a new Steam Deck and it's basically the same as the one they got last year or even 2 years ago. So yeah, I dig it. I wish this was the philosophy of more in the tech sphere. But that being said, that's what we got for regular ass news. Let's get into our suggestion this week. I've done this once before. It didn't really go over as well, but I'm going to try it again. For suggestions this week, because I keep having my head in Mortal Kombat, and if I'm not playing Mortal Kombat, I'm probably playing Halo if I'm playing anything. I'm going to turn this one around and you guys suggest something in the comment section. What are you playing? What is there something like seasonal that fits with the Halloween theme that you're playing that I'm super intrigued? I want to hear all about it down in the comment section. So that's what we got there. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.